The first thing was I got a massive parking fine. Then I got a massive tax bill, which I don't owe. And then to top it all off, I got suspended from testing. All on the same day. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
This video is sponsored by Vehicle Score. Vehicle Score is a free vehicle checking service which you can visit by going to vehiclescore.co.uk. Simply type in a registration number and you will get a unique score to your vehicle. You can compare your score to the average in Vehicle Score's database. It's full of free useful information such as a mileage tracker history. It gives you a comprehensive breakdown of your MOT history for things like advisories and also wear and tear items. It gives you performance data, an estimated valuation, an estimated lifespan of the vehicle compared to others like it. It's full of free useful information. Also as well, they also have their 2 new features, including the new car insurance tip section to help you save money on your next car insurance quote, and their new AI mechanic, which will help you if you have any issues with a car, trying to diagnose any faults or common issues you might be having with a particular vehicle. But it doesn't end there, because Vehicle Score also offer their paid checks. These checks start from less than a cup of coffee and will check to see things like if your vehicle has ever been involved in an accident, whether it's been written off by an insurance company to a Category N or a Category S. Maybe it's an unrecorded write-off, so it's gone for a salvage auction and you weren't aware of it. It'll also check to see if your vehicle's ever been imported or exported, ever been used as a taxi, has outstanding finance. They offer some of the most comprehensive checks out there, and all this information is assured with their £10,000 data guarantee. The paid checks are some of the most comprehensive priced out there, and it gets better because you guys get a discount. Simply use the promo code CARUK20 to get 20% off any of those paid checks. But remember guys, the basic service is completely free and it's constantly evolving. So make sure you download the Vehicle Score app, get yourself over to vehiclescore.co.uk and give them a try.
Hi there, welcome back to Car UK and to this car pitch video. So, what has been happening over the last week to 10 days here at the car pitch in Crewe? Well, I've not actually been here. I've been away. Those of you who watch the channel regular, I've been away on my holidays. I've had an okay time. I don't say it was brilliant, but it was reasonably all right. And I managed to de-stress a little bit. But I've come back to, well, problems, issues, and lots of stress. So it's gone from down here temporarily, right back up here again. And I've also had a bit of bad news as well. In fact, a few bits of bad news, which we'll talk about later on. Those of you who've seen the title already will know that things are not looking too good on the old MOT front for me. So anyway, I'll talk more about that in a minute. I'll show you what's been going on in the meantime. Those of you interested, see what's landed, what's we've been selling, why I've been away, and just generally talk about what stock we've had in on the channel over the last week or so, where we're up to with things, and I'll talk to you about what's gone on with my MOT licence, which is not great. Okay, so it's a very doom and gloom afternoon. It's getting pretty late now, about to close up. It's only about 5 o'clock though, but it's just a really horrible, wet, miserable day. Now the weather is actually very similar to my actual current mood, which is quite drab. So what has been going on since I've been away? Well, let's start off with a few things I got sort of in the pipeline. Truck, my recovery truck. Now this is currently on axle stands. This has been off the road now, just before I left to go on holiday. The MOT ran out, which has been an inconvenience. I didn't manage to keep up to date getting it ticketed, so I know, and plus I wanted it off the road to get some work done. It was due a big service and get some bits and bobs done. Now the guys have been getting on with that whilst they've been away. Done a little bit of tidying up on there, and it's had new tyres on, as you can see, put some new calipers on it, give it a bit of a clean up, done the wheels as well, painted them up. It's just looking a bit shabby, so we're just going to do the bed yet. We're going to paint this chassis bed. We've started to flick it off with a gun, and we're going to repaint that bed as well, just to tidy it up. Cab's been done as well internally, just give it a bit of a valet and just a bit of clean up. Got some new seat covers to go on here. We're going to put some new covers on and fix this seat up and shove a bit of stuffing in there, shove some covers on. So it's had a bit of a work done to it, full service kit on it, and a bit of a check over, strip and clean the brakes, etc. So pleased with that. I'm going to get that MOT back on the road because we desperately need the truck, and it's quite a low mileage thing. So I mean, I'm not fussed about buying a nice new shiny truck. I'm quite happy with this one. It's an 80 foul. It's got loads of life left in it. We love it. It drives really well, so we'll just plod on with it. I'm not one for spending 20 grand on a nice shiny truck, because you can do. Looking around the pitch, we've got a few new arrivals, which we'll cover in a sec. Quickly show you, this has just landed back today. Now this has been at the paint place before I went away, been queued up, and it has now finally come back, which is this little Seat Me. Now we bought this from Aston Barclay quite a while ago actually, on a 16 plate. In fact, I think we may have covered it in a previous video. I'm pretty sure we did. I did buy it. I think it was one of those videos where I bought about 7 or 8 one day from the auctions, and this is one of them. I quite like these Seat Me's, VW Ups. I seem to get more of the Seat Me's for whatever reason. The Up seem to be a little bit more money. I don't know why, because they are the same car. But I don't know, badge engineering, whatever it is, they just seem to be more money than the VW Ups. This is an FR line Seat Me, which I'm quite chuffed with. It's got, so it's the FR line effectively just, it's all the same sort of on the engine side, there's no difference, it's just the trim level. So it's a bit of a specky car. It does need a valet inside. My man has just started it, so the seats are horrendous, but it will clean up. But like I said, the FR line comes with all the red piping, it's got nav in it, it's got all the little goodies on it and stuff like that. It is well spec'd for a little super mini car. 5-door one as well, which is always good. And I say they are good sellers, these. Last one we had flew out the door, so looking to get this one gone as well. Did have a bit of paint on it at one of the wings. Sorry, one of the wings that went into the door needed painting, so we had to sort that out. And just general mop up as well, because they do need a bit of a fettling. These do. I think it had the tailgate lid painted as well. It had a little bit of a mark on there, but I can't remember the rest of it. It has a bit of paint anyway, but it's come up well. It's got a bit of dealer's mist on it at the moment, but it is well. It does look well when it comes in the dry. So we're going to get that on sale hopefully in the next couple of days. Done about 90,000 miles. So they're all cheap road tax, stuff like that. It's a specky car on a 16 plate. Got a bit of history of it as well. I would imagine, I've not done my research on it yet, but I think it's probably going to be around the 4.5 grand mark. That's roughly where they sit at. I think there's some probably, if you push the book price a bit higher than that, I think the book price is suggesting, but I always like to be sort of on the mid-range side, you know, in the middle. I don't want to be sort of pushing the boundaries too far on stuff, because otherwise it just sits around. If I can get my margin out what I want, I'm happy. So we'll see how we go with that. Needs it on the ramp as well. Does need a few bits and bobs on it. I noticed a little bit of noise at the back end, possibly a noisy squeaky shocker. So probably going to put some new shockers on the back. General stuff that we do anyway. Obviously we're going to go through it and check it all over. But a nice thing, and a little bit of an alternative difference to the usual sort of, you know, IGOs and stuff like that we sell, and Corsas and whatnot. So there we go, a little Seat Me. We'll show more about that we'll cover that again in another video. A few bits that have landed. I've got a Corsa there that's landed that I need to have a look at in a bit. Little i10, we've mentioned this last time. This is the one where it had the mark on this bumper corner. I think we mentioned it already. I've showed you before and after. It was all damaged there anyway. It's been on the ramp today. It's had a new CV joint on it and a new ABS sensor. Had an issue with the ABS, as we mentioned in the previous video. Put it down to basically a knackered ABS sensor. It wasn't the ABS sensor that was faulty, although we did put a new one on it. It was actually the pickup rings for the ABS ring on the CV joint itself. So new CV joint on, we put the new sensor on anyway because we already had it, and job done. That's now all sorted. Up for sale, $28.95. One former keeper car. It's got service history. It's got good service history actually. I think it's done, is it 70 something? 72,000 miles. One former keeper. We got a quick clean out now. Put some new trims on it as well. The trims are horrible on it, so I've put some new trims on it. Job done. So that should sell. We've sold one today, an i10 already. Low mileage one, that's sold and been gone for ticket. So that's gone. So I imagine this one will do the same. A little bit newer, but with a bit more miles, but same money. So swings and roundabouts. Anyway, moving on to the pitch. We're progressing with things. We sold this little i10 last week while I was away. The lads sold that one, which is good news. We've got two of these. We've got a 3-door and a 5-door, both same money. So this is a 5-door, lower mileage but slightly older car. We've also got a 3-door, which is a slightly newer car, so 2 years newer, with slightly more mileage. That's the one we got left. They're both the same price. They're both 2.5 grand, same colour. So this one's sold. This is the VTR Plus one, which is a bit of a strange one because it's the other one is not a VTR Plus. It's like pretty much a base. It's not quite a base model, but it's a second model up, so we say, and that's got alloys on it. So someone's probably either spec them or put them on. Whereas this one has got half leather in it and, you know, leather bound steering wheel and all that, but then no alloys, which is a bit strange. But anyway, I've ordered a new set of trims for that as well. Customers actually asked for new trims, which I was going to get anyway. We've got them organised. Also put a new lock barrel on it as well, because the door lock was a bit dodgy. We've got that sorted, refurbed the key, sorted all that out. So that's been on the ramp today. We've had a service, done, dusted, under sealed, all the stuff we usually do, and that's ready to go for MOT. In fact, it's been for MOT. It's passed. Been MOT and passed today, which is good news. Also this week, it's been a bit of a mini week this week. We've had a few minis on. We've got two minis. One I'll show you in a minute. This one coming as part X. It came in with a massive oil leak problem. A little white Mini Cooper, 1.6, it'll be a 1.6 Prince engine in it, which I'm not a fan of, I'll be honest with you. But this one's not bad. It's done 90,000 miles. It's a very clean car. Customer basically brought it in, Part X'd it against the blue Ford Focus, which was living by the door, if you remember, for a very short period of time. But he bought that, and he bought this in part exchange. I was just going to send it to the auction. He told me it had a bad oil leak. Usually they leak from the cylinder heads, that's why I'm a bit cautious. This one was actually the oil pressure switch, which is a result. So he put a pressure switch on it, cleaned it up, and it seems to be okay. I haven't put a price in it yet because I still need to check it over. So we're not saying it's definitely going to go on sale, but for the sake of a few quid, we've now fixed a major leak on it, which is only going to improve whatever we decide to do with it next, whether we retail it, which I'm not sure about, or maybe trade it on. I don't know. We're going to come back to that this week. But it is a nice thing in the cream, and it does drive very well. So we'll have to see how we get on with that, potentially. I don't mind selling minis because they are good sellers. It's just they're not always that reliable. So if you are going to sell them, you need to make sure they are right. So we'll see how we go with that one. The jury's still out for that one. Anyway, moving on, we've got the little Peugeot 207, very bright car. We've got that on sale. We've seen all those on the road before. We've obviously got the i10 still here. Sorry, we've got the Kia Picanto still here, the low mileage one, little 107. The other Mini with the older Trident engine in. The other last of the C1s we've got, which is another 2.5 grander on the 12 plate I mentioned a few seconds ago. Proton at the back, which we've mentioned before. Got that up now at $14.95. Although I do need to have a quick look at that because I think they might need. I think it might need a clutch adjusting. It looks like someone's been messing around with the clutch cable on it, and they've done a bit of a balls up of it. So we'll see how we get on with that. We're going to get that in the week and maybe look to sort that out. And yeah, we will sort it out, obviously. i10 sold, did that earlier. Polo, not got anywhere with that yet. Only just got back. This is the one that's got the running issue. Runs fine for about a minute and then goes lumpy, as in idling lumpy. A few people have come up with suggestions, some good suggestions in fairness. So I'm going to try out a few things. We're going to have a mess around with some throttle bodies, and also have a look at one of the back breathers at the back as well, someone mentioned, and also possibly maybe look at the injector side of it, although I'm not sure it is that, because it runs perfect for about a minute. It's when it comes off a cold start it goes really lumpy, and it's, like I said, it's not a misfire, it's just more sort of not idling correctly. So it's something along those lines. I think it's more of a breather issue personally, because if you take the oil cap off, it then cuts out, so it's getting too much air in, I think. Anyway, we're going to come back to that in the week. I'll let you know, keep you posted, because we have sold that car, but the guy who's bought it has actually been really sound and actually said, no, don't worry, spend a little bit longer on it, see how you get on with it. If you can get it running brilliant, obviously right, we'll have it off you. So we're up against the clock on that one. We're going to have a bit of a play with that this week. Now, Mini Cooper S Roadster. This coming in part exchange on Saturday against the Vauxhall Astra Tourer 64 plate one, which was plonked somewhere around here. Seen it in previous videos. We bought it from auction. We did quite a bit of work to it. It had tyres on it, we had the wheels refurbed, we did brakes on it, we did thermostat on it, housings which usually go on them. We did obviously servicing, all the usual stuff we do, rocker cover gaskets, all that. We did all that for it. Guy bought it, picked it up, loved it, left a great review as well. This is his part exchange. Now, this thing scares the life out of me. Not because of the car, because the car is really nice. First of all, like I said, it's a Cooper S, which is great news. If you're going to have one, I'd probably say the Cooper S from a spec perspective is one you probably want. It's not a bog standard one. I think these are called R59s minis. I think, I'll stand corrected. I think they're called R59, this shape, this little coupe convertible. Roof all works. It's done, is it 90,000? I think it's done. Can't get the screen up without the key. Oh no, 87, there we go. 87,000 miles, 6-speed manual, lovely thing inside. Been down the road in it, drives absolutely superb. Tracking slightly out to the left though, I've noticed that wants attention. But other than that, lovely thing. We've cleaned it up today, it's come up really well as well, this is good news. What's not to like? Everything's working on it, it's great. Does want some pipe work on it though. The one of the feed pipes has got a bit of a split in it, which I've ordered a brand new one, which is coming. Although strangely hasn't affected the way it's driving, which is odd. But there we go. So like I said, it's going to want bits on it. So what is the issue? It's running fine. You know, it can easily be turned around, put on sale. The issue for me is the engine. Now I'm not a great fan of these mini engines. And I mentioned before about the cream one over there. We call them Prince engines. 1.4, 1.6 engines. They're Peugeot engines really. They're Peugeot Citroen engines, but they did find their way into the minis. 2006-7 onwards, up until about 2014 when they changed them. Might have even gone to 15 actually. But this one's got a Prince engine in it, but this is a turbocharged version of that Prince engine. So that's like having a really bad engine and then going, how can we make it worse? I know, we'll bolt a great big whacking turbocharger on it. and squeeze loads more power out of an engine that's not the best anyway on reliability front. That's the problem. There's nothing wrong with the way they drive when they drive right, like this one's doing. It drives right, but they're just a really chocolatey engine. They're just not my cup of tea. I've seen loads of these with running faults and rough idling. They coke up a lot as well because they've got like a GDI technology on it, where it basically the valves get coated up and they don't clean themselves correctly because you've got no solvent going over them in the fuel. They're just bad news. Oil consumption, I've seen them drop cylinders. Chains are a pain in the arse on them. They always stretch chains. They're just not great, and I've never had much luck with really any of them. You know, I mean, the odd Peugeot we sell all right, and you can get the odd Mini, but most of the time you end up throwing chains on them and sensors and all sorts. So then you've got to add the fact you've got one that's probably going to get driven quite hard as well, or potentially could be driven quite hard by someone, which is what it's meant to do. It's a Cooper S, you know what I mean? I'm not saying someone should buy it and drive it like a nun, but it just puts that little bit of doubt and fear in it. You're thinking, do you really want to be standing by that car? Do you really want to be putting a warranty on that car and I'm risking it, or is it just better just to trade it on, and get a little bit of profit out of it and let it become someone else's problem? I'm not afraid about retailing it, and I'm leaning towards doing it because it is driving well. It'd be silly not for me to have a go with it, but there is that doubt. There's that fear in your mind thinking, oh, it's going to go wrong, it could go wrong. It's like that EcoBoost situation when you get one in. You get one and think, it's driving fine, it's lovely, it's fine, it's nothing wrong with it. But you've just got that doubt that it could go wrong because so many of them do. I know Chop's Garage mentions about Minis, he doesn't like them either. And I'm in that same boat. They're lovely cars, but the engines are really, really chocolatey. So yeah, we'll see how we go with it. I preferred it if it had been a diesel, to be honest with you, but there we go. Right, I don't think there's much else out here really at the moment. We've had a bit of a shimmy round. Moved a few bits and bobs. I've got my little Suzuki SX4 off the truck down the back there. I've got to do some work to that. Yellow Fiat 500, you'll be pleased to know, has not moved. Although I am made a decision that I am going to put that thing back together because I have borrowed some parts off it. And I am going to run that into an auction and get rid of it. And I might even film it actually, just to see what we can get back for that little turkey we've got over there. Really much else going on really. Safira, lost hope with that thing. That's becoming a bit of a pain in the arse. KA, that needs a gearbox. Chevrolet Spark, that needs gear linkages looking at. I've got an i10 over there, a red one, which has got a knackered engine, which is just like, I can't believe it. You never see an i10 with a knackered engine, but this one is because someone's driven it with no water in it. The water pump's been leaking, not bothered to have the water pump done, and then overheated it, knackered the engine. So yeah, that one's needs a new engine, which we're going to get organised for. They're going to buy another one from online from Breakers, and we're warranting just shove one in. So there we go. It's a shame really, but yeah, we'll get on to that another day. So we've got plenty of work to be getting on with. Quickly as well, before we go inside, have a chat in the workshop. Vauxhall Viva on the ramp, the little Cat S Vauxhall Viva, doing a bit of work on that. 4 tyres, peed off about that. 4 new tyres I've had to order for that, all cracked or worn on the inner edges. Wants a couple of steering arms on it. The steering arm joints have got play in them. A couple of drop links. Drop links are horrendous on it. Wants that, definitely wants a service kit doing, so we're going to do that. Other than that, drives well. But yeah, it will make a car at the end of the day. You can see past the noises, or I can see past the noises that it will make a car. And like I said, by the time we've stripped and cleaned all the brakes, 4 new tyres on it, serviced it, like brand new again. Rio, sold that just before I went away on holiday. That's a nice car. Ordered a brand new door lock for that, which is a bit of a kick in the teeth this morning. That was one of my other things that peed me off today. Coming back in, I tried to get a door lock for it online, sort of think, must be one online. There are loads online, couldn't find one. Every one of them seems to break. In fact, I can show you what's happened here on the original door lock here. It's just all fell to pieces. So this is the actual catch here. As you can see with this one, it's just waggling around like that. So it just makes a horrible noise, and it's just not opening and closing properly. So you can get it open to close, but you sort of have to mess around with it, where you sort of have to pull the handle in a certain way to force it to open. Anyway, so I had to bite the bullet, buy a new one, £180. And that one of those conversations you have with Kia as well. As soon as you mentioned it, they knew straight away what the problem was, and they knew exactly how much the price was, because they probably sell that many of them a week. But yeah, they've come accustomed to it. But 180 quid for that, I mean, that's ridiculous. But there we go. And like I said, it's pointless going online trying to get a second-hand one. I couldn't find one anyway, and it would suggest to me that they're all going faulty anyhow. So bite the bullet, put a new one on it, job done. Yeah, there we go. But not too bad other than that really. I've had to put a couple of tyres on it and stuff, but and a few straight strip and clean, bit of strip and clean the brakes and that, so it's not a disaster. At the end of the day, the customer's getting a good car, and that means I can look to sleep easy in my bed. So, suspended from testing, what has gone on? I bet everyone's probably thinking there at home, he's been doing dodgy MOTs, or he's been caught red-handed, he's been welding cars together or something like that. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. No, it's not that at all, but I have been suspended. Now let me explain why in a second. Actually, the day I found out that I've been suspended from testing, 3 things actually went wrong that day. The first thing was I got a massive parking fine. Then I got a massive tax bill, which I don't owe. And then to top it all off, I got suspended from testing. All on the same day. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Just what I needed on my first day back in the job. So I sits down Saturday morning, got me a cup of coffee, I've got in nice and early. First day back in the office. I thought, do you know what? Let's get the post sorted first. Before we do anything, let's tackle the paperwork. So I opens the mail, and the first thing I get in the mail is this, and it's a parking fine. And it's actually for the wife's Range Rover. So by this point, I'm now fuming already. 2 minutes into work, I'm thinking, what's she done? I'm grabbing the phone, I'm like, where have you been? You've parked up somewhere and you've not paid the parking. I've got a £100 fine here. It's not, what have you been doing? She has got form for this, by the way. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm looking at the letter and thinking, hang on a minute. It says here that the parking offence took place at Crewe Alexandra Football Club, which I thought, well, that's odd. The wife doesn't go and watch the Alex. Now, it actually turns out that it was me. I was the one who actually got the fine. The only, probably, I think it's the second time ever, I borrowed the car to go and do something with it. I went to watch the Crewe Alexandra play Forest Green Rovers, Bank Holiday Monday a few weeks ago. And I took the wife's car, basically because I took a elderly relative of mine, and he struggles to get in and out of my car. So I thought, take the wife's car, it's easier to get in and out of. Got there, I paid the parking, I got my ticket, put it in the window. Went and watched the football, which we lost 3-0, by the way, which really annoyed me. Comes out, the game, obviously come away, didn't think anything of it. Turns out that actually the reason why I got fined was because it was the linesman's fault. Now I'll explain to you why it was the linesman's fault. You see, about 70 minutes into the game, the linesman cut his elbow, blood everywhere, and he had to go off, which means the 4th official had to come on, take over the linesman's job. That suspended the game for about 15-20 minutes, and then no sooner than we tried to restart the game that someone collapsed in the crowd. Now luckily they were all right in the end, they got taken away to hospital, but they were okay in the end. But basically it suspended the game for about half an hour, waiting for extra sort of added time. So the time I got out, I didn't realise that I'd gone about 20 minutes over, and that's exactly what's happened, 21 minutes over the time allotment I gave myself. So I got a fine, £100. So it is the linesman's fault, by the way. I'm sticking to that. It's definitely the linesman's fault. So that really annoyed me. That was a great start to the day. And then the next letter that I open up, I swear to God, the next letter is from the council. And the council now want another £4,000 off me in business rates, on top of the £2,800 they've already had off me for last year's rates, which you could think, well, you owe that, so what's the problem? Well, I don't owe it. Actually, I don't owe them a penny, because they've got it all wrong. You see, I put an appeal in for my business rates, pretty much, well, it wasn't straight away, it took me about a month or two, but I did manage to get my appeal in, because I realised that I'm actually paying for land that I don't actually lease, and they're charging me for it. And because I'm just slightly over the threshold band, I have to pay a huge amount of business rates. Whereas if I'd actually been banded correctly, I'd be on the lower band, which would put me under the threshold, and I wouldn't pay a penny. But unfortunately, it's not as simple as ringing your local council up and saying, can you, look at this again and blah, blah, blah. It's how business rates works is just a mess, basically. They're dealt with by the council, who collect the money, and the valuations office, who actually carry out the ratings. So I had to put an appeal in with the valuations office. You can't ring them up anymore. You have to do it online through a portal. You have to have a government gateway ID, then they send you out a code. It took me about 2 months to get this appeal in. I finally gets the appeal in December last year, and since then, nothing has happened. Nothing at all. They've not looked at it, it's not been given to a caseworker, nothing. All I can do is go inside this portal that just tells me nothing's happened. There's no contact details, absolutely sod all. So meanwhile, my appeal's going nowhere, but yet the council still want all the money. So I want to ring the council up and say, look, I'm in an appeal, I don't owe this money, I've already paid last year's up as well. You've got more of my money now, I need it for cash flow. this is not on. Can we get this sort of suspended for now? Which is quite ironic because I got suspended for something else in a minute I'll talk about. What can we do about it? For which they just turn around and go, oh, we only collect the business rates, Mr. Grant. We don't deal with business rate valuations. You need to speak to the valuations office. Great tactic. So they can basically push me off towards the valuations office who don't have a telephone number. So I'm in complete limbo at the moment where they've got thousands of pounds of my money and want more money off me for a bill that I don't owe. But there we go. So that made me even more angry. And then, to top it all off, as I'm sitting back in my chair, looking at the calendar, annoyed with myself, thinking all about what these fines I've had and all this money I've had taken off me, which I don't owe. I'm looking at the calendar and thinking, it's April. And I'm thinking to myself, I haven't done my CPC training for MOT testing recently. So I thought, I better check this. So I goes on my account for my MOT testing and goes online, looks at my notifications, and it's all red, which is not good. And it says there, you have been suspended from testing. To which then realise, oh no, I haven't done my CPC training. So basically as an MOT tester, you have to do yearly training. Most industries now have CPCs. I've done them for many, many years, no issues. I usually do mine quite early on, get it done, dusted, out of the way. It's a few hours course, you do it online, I usually do it at home. Don't have any issues, but because I've not been doing many MOTs at all, and I'm not running an MOT station anymore, because obviously I sold that business and now we're in this business, I'm not getting notifications for it, I'm not going into the system, I'm not looking. So I basically just forgot about the dates, so therefore I've been suspended from testing. But it gets worse, because usually, or what used to happen, is you got suspended, but if you did your course, as soon as you did your course, you got a code, you went in, put the code in, and you could start testing again. That's what used to happen. Oh no, they've changed that now, which I wasn't aware of. Now, if you get suspended, that's it. You are suspended. The only way you can get your license lifted and back on testing again is by having what's called a demo test, which is basically you have to get the DVSA to come out, get a meeting in place. You have to sit down with them and they have to do a demo test where they basically watch you do a full MOT at an independent site or a nominated garage so you can get your license back. So now I've got to go through all that rigmarole to get my license back, which is all my fault, by the way. It's my own doing, but it's just stress that an hassle that I don't really need at the moment. And I'm waiting to myself, do I really need my MOT license now? I don't do any MOTs anymore. We don't do MOTs here. But on the opposite side of the argument, I think, well, do you know what? You've had it for years and you've earned it and, why not keep it? You never know what's around the corner. You might need it again. You just don't know. I mean, there's probably lads out there now who've got HGV licenses who don't drive anymore who think, do you know what? I'll still keep my license. I still want my HGV license even though I don't drive. And is that attachment, I suppose, to it really? I don't really need an MOT license anymore, but I don't really want to give it up either. So anyway, in the end, I've decided, you know what, I'm just going to get my course done. I'll have to just go through this, eat humble pie, go and get the demo test done, basically like a newbie again, start all over and get testing again. So anyway, that is my last few days. To be fair, most of it's self-inflicted. It's just me having a rant, but there we are. That's just the way things are. No point moaning about it anymore. Let's just draw a line under it and move on with the rest of the week. Now, we have got things to look forward to. We've got cars still need to go out, so means we've got money coming in, which is good news. We have sold some cars. We sold a C1 and we've also sold an i10 today, so that's good news. So I'm quite pleased with that. And we've got an auction to look forward to as well on Thursday, which hopefully we'll film as well. So there's plenty of things to look positive about. It's raining at the moment, but tomorrow it could be sunny. Who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. And I'll see you all in the next one.